marriages: arranged marriage, love marriage. This is a difficult task for me to address, coming from an Eastern world who believe in arranged marriage, speaking in the Western world who have not really heard of arranged marriage. It is always you pick your own partner and you love, you get married. So we are going to see whether we love to get married or get married to love. So I don't know how to bring this about. So to answer this question, I think to make it more biblical for the Western world and the Eastern world to meet somewhere, we got to go back to the Bible, to the book of Genesis, when God created Adam and Eve. Did Adam love to get married to Eve, or was he given this woman Eve as God's gift to be his partner and he started to love her? I think when you see from the biblical perspective, the first marriage was not love marriage, it was arranged marriage. It was a sudden surprise wedding, that's what I call it. Because he never knew what was going to happen. God told him, come, and he put him to sleep. And the next thing is he woke up and he saw a woman there. And he said, this is the woman that I've given you, marry her, name her. So he named her Eve. And he explains why he named her Eve, why he named her woman. She is the one who came from my ribs, and she is mine, and I'm going to love her. So I tell you, today from Indian perspective, from the Asian perspective, the arranged marriage has more value. And my marriage, for example, was an arranged marriage. I didn't see my wife before I got married. Just very briefly, I had the opportunity to meet her, to speak to her. Then my parents arranged it for me and they asked me whether I was going to marry her. I said yes. And then we married, and today we have a successful married life. 15 years of our marriage, and God has blessed us with 5 children. So we learned to love after we got married. But at the same time, I'm not coming against the Western culture who love and get married. But I just want to tell you there is value in marriage. Whatever it is, whether you marry and start loving or whether you love and get married, what I would like to advise is stay in that marriage. Endure forever. Let that commitment grow so that you will be at peace and you will fulfill the law of God. And why marriage? Marriage is mainly for us to bring about a godly generation, that there won't be chaos. So marriage is an institution of God. Marriage is something that is God's idea, it's not man's idea. That's why we are confused today whether to love and marry or marry and love, because we try to make it our idea. It is not our idea, it is God's idea, it's God's plan. It's His plan that man should not be alone. So He brought that up. So when you give your marriage to God, whether it is love marriage or arranged marriage, when you leave it in the hands of God, He's going to help you and He's going to stay that course so that a proper society will be brought through you, that God's generation, God's goodness, God's ways and principles will be transmitted to the next generation, and a well-ordered society will be formed. Thus, we will fulfill the law of God. May the Lord bless you and your marriage.